Hi and welcome to the South Regional TAFE Bunbury campus. This afternoon we're actually talking about conservation land management, horticulture, parks and gardens and landscape construction. I'm Amber Khalija, the Training Coordinator for Environmental Science and Commerce. And with us this afternoon we have Zoe Kissane, the Lecturer for Horticulture and Conservation Land Management, here to provide some information and answer some of your questions. How are you going, Zoe?
Hi, thanks, Amber. So I'm going to give just a brief industry overview for both areas, for horticulture and conservation land management, which I'm going to shorten to CLM because it's a little bit easier to say. But I'll start with horticulture. So it's a pretty broad industry. You can do things like nursery work, parks and gardens. You could be a self-employed gardener working for yourself, maintaining gardens and lawns. We've got a huge landscaping industry and then also shire work as well. So that kind of is a general overview of horticulture, also orchard work and pruning and fruit picking and things like that. In terms of CLM, so conservation land management, lots of different industry pathways and job outcomes. Some things might be seed collecting, park rangers, working in nurseries as well. We've got lots of native plant nurseries down here in the southwest. Or, simple things like conservation workers planting out trees and shrubs and maintaining natural areas, doing monitoring, and then things like flora and fauna surveys. So that's a bit of an overview of both different areas. I guess if you like gardens and growing food and looking after plants in a confined space, you might be more in tune to horticulture. Whereas if you like the bush and native plants and native animals, then I guess CLM would be more suited to you. Amber's going to give us a quick overview of the course pathways, and then I'll come back to you with just a bit more information about different things that we do within each stream. So over to you, Amber.
Fantastic, thank you. So in our environmental science area with horticulture and CLM, we actually start at the entry level of Cert 2. So a Cert 2 qualification gives you all the basic knowledge you need in these industry areas. And we actually consult with industry to make sure that the units we're providing you in our classroom training is what industry expect when you go out to work. That's the whole idea at TAFE, is to be able to provide you with job ready skills to actually go out and find employment. So we started a Cert 2 level and then we progressed to a Cert 3 level. So we have the Cert 3 in horticulture and conservation land management. If you'd like to take part in any of these courses this year or next year, you jump on to our website and go to TAFE admissions, where you can apply for these courses. The Cert 3 in conservation land management and the Cert 3 in horticulture are quite popular, and so they're actually a competitive course where they'll select a certain number of the best applicants. So if you'd like to head across to that website and make that application, I strongly recommend you do so. At a Cert 3 level, we also offer a Cert 3 in parks and gardens and a Cert 3 in landscape construction. This year is going to be our first year of actually offering landscape construction as a classroom based or basically on TAFE site course, but generally they're offered as an apprenticeship, exactly the same as parks and gardens. So that's where you'll have an employer for those skills and you come into TAFE in either blocks or on day release to actually get through your apprenticeship units. They're a 3-year apprenticeship. You can also do conservation land management and horticulture as traineeships, which takes 12 months, and they're offered at the Cert 2 and Cert 3 level. But in that, again, that's a requirement that you'll actually already be employed by an employer as a trainee for those roles. But it's definitely something that we offer here at TAFE. We also then offer the higher level Certificate 4 in conservation land management and horticulture. So the Cert 4 is actually a supervisory sort of level where you'll actually be implementing programs and supervising staff in either the horticulture area, and as Zoe explained, it's quite a large, all-encompassing area that you can be looking after, or in conservation land management as well. You're designing the plans that actually go towards that land management. And yeah, so not all certificates require a prerequisite of the previous certificate, but we find here at TAFE that we're building your knowledge from the ground up, and unless you have that industry experience, Cert 2 is the way to start. However, we do strongly encourage you to speak to our lecturers and choose the best pathway for you. I'll hand you back over to Zoe to maybe explain what happens in a classroom setting a little bit better.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Amber. So yeah, if you want some more information about where you think the right place for you to start would be, we really strongly encourage you to get in contact, and we can give you a call and have a chat about your previous experience and whether Cert 2 or Cert 3 might be suitable for you. So in terms of what we do classroom, and we talk about classroom quite loosely because both our courses, both horticulture and CLM, we spend a lot of time outside. So when we say classroom, often that's out in the garden or out in the bush. So, you know, things like horticulture, we've got a big veggie patch and an orchard that we maintain, and we incorporate that into a lot of our training. We like to grow food and propagate a lot of different seeds and cuttings. And then CLM stuff, we've got a big bush block out the back of our building. So we often take students out there and we do fauna and flora surveys and monitoring. And what else do we do? Yeah, lots of different stuff, bird surveys, mammal surveys. We set up some cameras and yeah, look at what kind of stuff we've got out in the bush. And then we often go across the road to Mania Park and do lots of stuff in there as well with the community group through there. So lots of different practical things, and both those courses are really quite practical. So if you're someone that likes to be outside doing things in nature, yeah, these courses would be suitable for you.
Fantastic. And I know that we talk about full-time and part-time, and so a full-term time Cert 2 qualification and the full-time Cert 3, you're actually only looking about 3 days full-time at TAFE because there's a requirement that you'll do some further study at home. But if you're considering if you're already working or wanting to fit this in, yeah, the full-time qualification only runs for 3 days a week for the semester for both the Cert 2s and Cert 3s.
Great.
Excellent. And so do we normally open this up to questions, but at the moment, we don't have anybody online that wants to ask any questions at the moment. So what we'll do is we'll strongly encourage you to either jump onto TAFE admissions and apply for these courses, or send us through a course inquiry where one of us can get in contact with you and discuss your options further. If you've recently just coming back into study because you've been out of study for a long time, or a school leaver and unsure of where you should start, the best thing is to start a conversation with us because we're here to help you get the skills you need for your future and to find a job you love. And yeah, this is environmental science is definitely a growth area, and you get to capitalize, I suppose, on the best the Southwest has to offer with our fantastic weather and our beautiful environment we actually have down here.
Yeah,
Thank you.
great.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time this afternoon, Zoe. And yeah, please get in contact. You'll probably speak to either Zoe or myself or one of our other fantastic lecturers we have on board. We hope you have a great afternoon. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.